Stop talking. Stop explaining yourself. The greatest source of power you have is not found in your words, but in your deliberate absence of them. For too long, you have been taught that to be heard, you must be loud. This is a lie. This audiobook is your guide to weaponizing silence. You will learn to command respect, control any negotiation, and dominate the psychology of any room without uttering an unnecessary word. Your silence will become your strength, your shield, and your most formidable weapon. Listen closely, and prepare to master the art of strategic silence. Chapter 1: The loudest person in the room is the weakest. You have been fed a lie since the day you were born. A lie that says to be noticed, you must be loud. That to have influence, you must have the last word. That to demonstrate strength, you must dominate the conversation. This is the greatest weakness you possess. And today, it ends. Look around you. In every meeting. In every family gathering. At every social event. You see them. The peacocks. The people who mistake volume for value. They interrupt. They over-explain. They fill every available second with the sound of their own voice, believing it makes them seem important, intelligent, and in control. It does the opposite. Their noise is not a broadcast of strength. It is a desperate cry for validation. It is a signal of deep insecurity. It is a frantic attempt to prove their worth because, on the inside, they are not sure it exists. They are terrified of being overlooked, so they scream for attention. It's not about winning an argument, it's about soothing a fragile ego. Remember this, burn it into your mind: noise is weakness. Control is quiet. Let us analyze this in a place where power is everything, the corporate boardroom. Imagine a long, polished table. The stakes are high, a multi-million-dollar decision hangs in the balance. On one side, you have the loud managers. Manager A is aggressive. He slams his fist for emphasis. He speaks over his colleagues. His voice booms, demanding to be heard. Manager B is the politician. He uses 1,000 words when 10 would suffice, creating a smokescreen of corporate jargon to sound intelligent, hoping to confuse everyone into agreement. Manager C is anxious. She explains her point, then explains it again, and then a third time, terrified that someone might have missed the nuance. The room is filled with their frenetic energy. It is chaotic. It is verbal combat. It is noise. And at the head of the table sits the CEO. Silent. Still. Her face is neutral. She is not texting. She is not distracted. Her eyes move from person to person as they speak. She is not passive, she is a predator. She is absorbing everything. She is watching the alliances form and break. She is noting the insecure tremble in Manager A's voice despite his volume. She is seeing through the empty complexity of Manager B's speech. She is registering the desperation of Manager C. While they are performing, she is gathering intelligence. While they are broadcasting, she is decoding. They are playing checkers. She is playing chess. The arguments rage for an hour. The noise finally subsides as the loud ones exhaust themselves, looking to the CEO for the final verdict. The room falls silent, the tension thick. The CEO lets the silence hang in the air for a full 10 seconds. She lets them feel the weight of her decision before it is even made. Then, she leans forward slightly and speaks in a calm, measured voice. 2 sentences. That's all it takes. We're going with option 2. Sarah, lead it. Mark, support her. Meeting adjourned. There is no debate. There are no follow-up questions. The decision is final. Her quiet words cut through an hour of noise like a razor blade. Her authority was not established by shouting, it was established by her deliberate, strategic silence. That's the key. Her words had weight precisely because they were scarce. You have a choice. You can be one of the loud managers, fighting for scraps of attention in the chaos, or you can be the CEO, observing from a position of quiet power. It's not about being shy, it's about being strategic. It's not about having nothing to say, it's about understanding that most of what is said is worthless. Your first act of discipline begins now. Stop volunteering your opinion. Stop feeling the need to contribute to every single conversation. You don't need their permission to stay quiet. Let them talk. Let them reveal their insecurities. Let them exhaust their energy. Your new role is that of the observer. In your next meeting, your goal is not to be the smartest person in the room. Your goal is to be the most observant. In your next argument with a loved one, your goal is not to win. Your goal is to understand the battle being fought beneath their words. This is a profound shift in mindset. It is a shift from participation to observation, from reaction to control. Remember, the loudest person in the room is the weakest. They are a slave to their ego, to their need to be seen and heard. You will be different. Your power will not come from the noise you make, but from the silence you command. You will learn that true influence is quiet. True strength is measured. True control does not need to announce its own arrival. Noise is weakness. Control is quiet. From this moment on, you will choose control. You have now learned the fundamental law of power dynamics. You understand that the frantic energy of the crowd is a signal of weakness, not strength. But understanding this is only the first step. It is not enough to simply reject noise. You must learn to build something in its place. You must forge your silence into a tangible tool of defense. In the next chapter, we will begin that process. We will teach you how to construct an impenetrable defense against emotional attacks, manipulation, and the chaos of others. You will learn to make your silence a fortress. Chapter 2, Your Silence, Your Shield. Chapter 2, Your Silence, Your Shield. For your entire life, you have been a sponge. You absorb the anxiety of your boss. You absorb the passive aggression of your colleagues. You absorb the bitter criticisms of your family. You walk into a room calm and centered, and you leave carrying the emotional weight of everyone else. Their chaos becomes your chaos. Their poison becomes your burden. This ends now. You have been trained to believe that when you are attacked with words, you must respond with words. When someone insults you, you must defend yourself. When someone questions your decisions, you must justify them. This is a trap. It is a game designed by the emotionally weak, and every time you play, you lose. Even when you think you've won the argument, you've lost your peace. You've lost your energy. You've let them dictate your emotional state. It's not about winning their game, it's about refusing to play. Your silence is not passivity. It is not weakness. It is an active, impenetrable defense. Your silence is a shield. Let's walk through a scenario you know all too well. A family dinner. The air is thick with unspoken history. Across the table sits a relative, an aunt, a brother, a parent, who has appointed themselves the grand inquisitor of your life. They see a life choice you've made that they don't understand, so they decide to attack it. Still chasing that little business idea, they ask, the condescension dripping from every word. I saw Sarah just got a promotion at the bank. Now that's a real career. The bait is laid. It is a direct assault on your ambition, your intelligence, your path. What is your first instinct? It's a hot flash of anger. The words leap to your throat. You want to list your recent accomplishments. You want to defend the validity of your work. You want to point out the flaws in their life choices. You feel an overwhelming urge to explain yourself, to make them understand, to win their approval. Stop. This is the moment of choice. The old you takes the bait. The old you engages, and the next hour is a miserable, draining argument that goes nowhere and leaves you furious. But the new you deploys the shield. Here is your new protocol. When the verbal attack comes, you do not react. Instead, you do three things. First, you take a slow, silent breath. In through the nose, out through the mouth. This is for you, not for them. It short-circuits your fight-or-flight response. Second, you hold their gaze. Not with aggression. Not with anger. But with a calm, neutral, unwavering focus. You show them you are not intimidated. You are not hurt. You are simply observing. Third, and this is the most important part, you say nothing. You let their toxic words hang in the air between you. You let the silence stretch. Let it become uncomfortable, for them. An attack requires a target to have any impact. A punch only lands if it connects with something. By staying silent, you remove the target. Their verbal punch flies through empty air, and all their negative force and momentum throws them off balance. That's the key. They wanted a reaction. They craved the emotional energy of a fight. You gave them nothing. Their insult, now sitting alone in the silence, suddenly sounds petty. It sounds bitter. It sounds weak. They have exposed themselves, not you. Do not absorb their chaos. Your silence is a shield. This is a discipline that applies everywhere. The coworker who makes a sarcastic comment about you in a meeting? Silence. A steady gaze. Then you turn back to the topic at hand as if they never spoke. You have just shown them, and everyone else, that their opinion is irrelevant. The angry customer yelling at you over the phone? Let them vent. Do not interrupt. When they finally run out of steam and there is silence, a calm, quiet, "How would you like me to help you solve this?" will dismantle their rage completely. Observe, don't absorb. You have a choice. You can be a sponge for the world's negativity, or you can be a wall. A fortress. You don't need their permission to protect your inner peace. You don't need to justify your refusal to engage in their drama. Your peace is non-negotiable. This is not about being rude. It is about emotional self-preservation. It is the highest form of discipline. Let them throw their tantrums. Let them fling their insults. Let them drown in their own chaos. You will remain untouched. You will remain in control. You will remain calm. Your silence is a shield. It is the invisible armor that protects your mind from the poison of others. It gives you the space to see the attack for what it is, a reflection of their weakness, not yours. You have learned to reject the noise. You have now learned how to forge your silence into a shield, an impenetrable defense against the outside world. You can now stand firm in any storm of negativity. But defense is only the beginning. True power is not just about protecting yourself, it's about controlling the environment. It's about shaping the situation to your advantage. Now that your shield is in place, we will learn to use silence as an offensive tool. We will turn your silence from a wall into a lever. Chapter 3, Let Them Fill the Void. Chapter 3, Let Them Fill the Void. You have learned to stand your ground. Your silence is a shield, protecting you from the chaos of others. You are no longer a sponge. You are a fortress. But defense is only half of the equation. A fortress that cannot project power is just a prison. Today, you learn to go on the offensive. Today, we turn your silence from a shield into a weapon. A lever. A tool for shaping reality to your will. Think about every negotiation you have ever lost. Every time you asked for something and received less than you deserved. Why did you fail? It's not because your request was unreasonable. It's because after you made your request, you kept talking. You justified. You explained. You softened your position before it was even challenged. You revealed your own insecurity about the value you were offering, and in doing so, you handed all your power to the person across the table. You gave them everything. You lost the game before they even made a move. Here is a fundamental truth of human psychology: we are terrified of vacuums. Nature abhors them, and so does the human mind. A conversational void, a true, uncomfortable silence, is a psychological vacuum. When you create one, the other person feels an almost physical pressure to fill it. They will throw words, intentions, secrets, and concessions into that void just to make the pressure stop. That's the key. Your job is not to fill the void. Your job is to create it. Let us enter the highest stakes arena for this principle, the salary negotiation. This is where your self-worth is assigned a number. The hiring manager leans back in their chair and asks the question, "So, what are your salary expectations?" The old you would panic. You'd say a number, and then immediately launch into a nervous monologue. "I'm looking for around 90,000, because my last role was similar, and I have 5 years of experience, and the market rate seems to be in that range, but of course, I'm flexible depending on the benefits." You have just signaled weakness. You have shown them you are willing to negotiate with yourself before they have even said a word. You have lost. Here is the new protocol. This is your system. It is not negotiable. First, before you ever walk into that room, you do your research. You know your number. Not a range. A specific, confident number that reflects your value. You don't need their permission to know your worth. Second, when they ask the question, you look them directly in the eye. Your posture is calm and open. You lean forward ever so slightly, projecting engagement and control. Third, you state your terms. Based on the value I'm prepared to bring to this position, my required salary is $120,000. The sentence is clean. It is confident. It is final. And then you do the hardest and most important thing of all. You shut your mouth. You don't smile nervously. You don't fidget with your pen. You don't look away. You hold their gaze, and you let the silence do the work. You have created the void. Now, you wait for them to fill it. For them, these next 10 seconds will feel like an eternity. Their mind will race. They expected you to be flexible. They expected you to be nervous. You are neither. Your silence is a statement. It says, "This is my value." The number is not a starting point. It is the price. Their discomfort will become unbearable, and they will break. They will start talking. And when they talk, they will reveal everything. They will say, "Wow. That's at the very top of our budget for this role." They have just told you it's within their budget. Or they might say, "That's more than we were anticipating. Let me see what I can do." The bonus structure here is quite generous. They have just told you they are already looking for ways to meet your price. They are now negotiating against themselves. You have not said a word. You have not conceded a single dollar. You simply stated your terms, then went silent. You let them fill the void. This is not a trick. It's a discipline. It's not about being arrogant, it's about having unshakable confidence in the value you bring. You have a choice. You can talk yourself out of what you deserve, or you can use silence to get it. This principle is a universal key. When a mechanic gives you an outrageous quote for a repair, look at the number, look at him, and stay silent. He will start explaining the costs, item by item, and will often talk himself down to a more reasonable price. State your terms. Then be silent. When you set a boundary with a friend who is always late, if you're not here by 7:30, I'm going in without you, and they start making excuses, do not argue. Let the silence hang after your statement. Your boundary is the boundary. It does not require their agreement. Let them fill the void. The untrained mind rushes to explain. The disciplined mind knows that explanation is a form of weakness. It is a request for approval. You are done asking for approval. From now on, you will state your position, ask your question, or make your offer with clarity and confidence. And then you will stop. You will let the power of the void work for you. Let them squirm. Let them justify. Let them reveal their hand. Your work is done. You are no longer just a fortress. You are a force. You have turned your silence from a passive shield into an active weapon, capable of shaping the outcomes of your most critical conversations. You have learned how to take control. But this new power requires a new level of responsibility. If silence is your primary tool, then the words you do choose to speak must be treated like ammunition, precise, powerful, and never, ever wasted. In the next chapter, we will forge your words into weapons. Chapter 4, Speak with Intent or Not at All. Chapter 4, Speak with Intent or Not at All. You have learned to build a shield and wield the void. You understand that silence is a source of immense power. But what about when you must speak? The disciplined mind does not eliminate speech, it masters it. For years, you have treated your words like they are free. You have scattered them carelessly in every direction, believing that more is better. You gossip. You speculate. You offer unsolicited opinions. You think out loud. You fill silence not because it's strategic, but because you are nervous. Your words have become a devalued currency. Because you spend them on everything, they are now worth nothing. This behavior is a deep-seated habit of the weak. It must be burned out of you. From this moment forward, you will operate under a new, unbreakable code. Every word is a bullet. Do not waste your ammunition. Speak with intent or not at all. Think of two leaders. The first is the rambler. His meetings are an exercise in endurance. He speaks in long, winding paragraphs, chasing tangents, repeating himself, and burying his main point under an avalanche of unnecessary detail. His emails are essays. He thinks his verbosity makes him sound thorough and intelligent. What is the reality? His team has tuned him out. When he speaks, they nod politely while mentally checking out. His words are static. They are noise. They are a predictable and draining part of the workday that must be endured, not listened to. His ammunition is a spray of blanks, loud and useless. Now, think of the second leader. The Spartan. She is often the quietest person in the room. She listens with an unnerving intensity. Days can go by where her team hears only brief, direct questions from her. But when she calls a meeting and stands to speak, the room falls utterly silent. Everyone leans in. Every phone is put away. Because they know that what is about to be said is essential. She speaks in short, declarative sentences. The deadline is moved to Friday. No exceptions. This project is cancelled. Focus all resources on Project Alpha. Good work, David. Her words land with the force of a hammer. They change the state of reality. There is no ambiguity. No room for interpretation. No wasted energy. Each word was chosen. Each word has a purpose. Each word is a bullet that hits its target. That's the key. Her power isn't in her title, it's in the immense weight of her carefully chosen words. You have a choice. You can be the rambler, whose voice is background noise, or you can be the Spartan, whose voice is an event. It's not about being cold or antisocial, it's about being effective. It's about respecting your own thoughts enough to deliver them with maximum impact. You don't need their permission to be concise. Here is your new protocol for verbal engagement. Before a single word leaves your mouth, you will filter it through 3 questions. 1. Is this necessary? Does this need to be said, right now, by me? 2. Is this true? Am I speaking from fact and conviction, or from ego and speculation? 3. Does this move the situation forward? Will this statement create clarity, solve a problem, or establish a necessary boundary? If the answer to all 3 is not a resounding yes, you remain silent. This filter will eliminate 90% of the useless words you currently speak. It will force you into a state of verbal discipline. Your next task: stop thinking out loud. The undisciplined mind processes its confusion externally. It uses other people as a sounding board for its own half-formed ideas. This makes you look uncertain, disorganized, and weak. The disciplined mind does its processing internally. It works through the problem in the quiet of its own counsel, and when it has reached a conclusion, it speaks the conclusion. Not the journey. Just the destination. Finally, you will eradicate all verbal leaks from your language. Words like like, I just feel like maybe. These are the sounds of a person asking for permission to have an opinion. They are signals of deference. You will replace them with silence. A pause is powerful. A filler word is weak. Every word is a bullet. Do not waste your ammunition. When you complain about the weather, you are firing a bullet at nothing. When you gossip about a coworker, you are firing a bullet at your own integrity. When you explain your reasoning to someone who has no say in the outcome, you are handing them your ammunition for free. Speak with intent, or not at all. You have learned to use the void to your advantage. Now you will learn that your own spoken words must carry that same weight and gravity. Your new economy of words will make people listen differently. They will start to understand that when you speak, it matters. Your words will begin to shape your world. But mastering the mechanics of your speech is one thing. The next step is far deeper. It requires you to attack the very root of why you speak too much in the first place. You must kill the most draining impulse you have, the desperate need for validation. We must dismantle the addiction to being understood. Chapter 5, Kill the Need to be Understood. Chapter 5, Kill the Need to be Understood. We have reached the root of the disease. The previous chapters have given you the tools and tactics, but now we must perform surgery on your ego. We must find the weakest part of your character and burn it out completely. That weakness is your desperate, pathetic addiction to being understood. You crave it like a drug. You waste hours of your life in pointless arguments, trying to force someone to see your perspective. You craft long, elaborate emails justifying your decisions, hoping to win the approval of people you don't even respect. You lay awake at night, replaying conversations, thinking of the perfect thing you should have said to make them finally get it. This need is a gaping hole in your armor. It is the source of all your wasted words. It is the reason you over-explain, why you talk yourself out of good deals, and why you engage in battles that drain your soul. Today, you learn to starve that addiction until it dies. You must kill the need to be understood. Let's place you in a position of leadership. You are managing a team, and you see a hard truth that nobody else does. The old process is inefficient. It's comfortable, but it's killing productivity. The necessary change will be unpopular. It will require more work up front and disrupt the team's cozy routines. You have a choice. The old you would try to build consensus. You'd call a meeting. You'd present charts and graphs. You'd say things like, "I'd love to get everyone's buy-in on this." You would open the floor for debate. And what would you get? Fear. Resistance. Complaints. You would spend the next 2 weeks in a swamp of diplomacy, trying to convince the unwilling, watering down your plan to appease the mediocre, and ultimately failing to make the necessary change with any real conviction. You chose to be liked over being effective. You failed. Here is your new reality. You don't need their permission. You don't need their buy-in. You need their compliance. You see the necessary change. You do your due diligence in private. You finalize your plan. Then, you communicate the decision. Not the debate. Not the justification. The decision. You send a single, concise email. Team, starting Monday, we will be implementing the new workflow. The training documents are attached. I expect everyone to be up to speed by end of day. My door is open for operational questions only. And then, silence. The grumbling will begin immediately. You will hear it in the hallways. You will see it in the private chat channels. This is a terrible idea. He didn't even ask us. This is never going to work. They will try to pull you back into the swamp of debate. They will come to your desk to share their concerns, which is a coward's way of trying to veto your authority. You will not engage. You will not defend your decision. You will not list the 20 reasons why you are right. When confronted, your response will be calm, brief, and final. I understand your concern. The decision is made. Focus on the implementation. That's the key. You have separated the decision from the discussion. You are no longer asking for a vote. You are giving an order. It's not about being a tyrant, it's about having the courage to lead from the front. Your actions are your argument. Your results are your explanation. For the next month, you work in disciplined silence. You execute the plan. You troubleshoot the real operational problems, ignoring the emotional complaints. You put your head down and you build. The team, seeing that the decision is non-negotiable, slowly falls in line. And then, 3 months later, the results come in. Productivity is up 40%. Errors are down. The very people who complained the loudest are now quietly enjoying the benefits of a system that works. Did you ever win them over with a clever argument? No. You silenced them with a successful outcome. The results became an explanation so powerful and undeniable that it required no words from you at all. You didn't need them to understand your process, you only needed them to witness your results. Kill the need to be understood. This applies to every corner of your life. The family members who question your career path? Stop debating with them. Let your success be the only response they ever get. The friends who criticize your new diet or workout routine? Don't explain the science. Let your transformation be the argument. Every moment you spend trying to get someone's approval is a moment you are not spending on the actual work. Your energy is finite. Stop giving it to the critics. Stop giving it to the doubters. Invest it in your actions. Your actions are your argument. Your results are your explanation. This is the ultimate freedom. When you are no longer a slave to the opinions of others, you become capable of making the hard, necessary decisions that others are too afraid to even contemplate. You become effective. You become powerful. You have learned to wield your words with surgical precision. Now you have learned to detach your ego from the outcome of those words. You no longer speak for approval. You speak to define reality. You have turned your focus inward, building a core of self-reliance that is indifferent to external judgment. This creates a new kind of mental clarity. With the noise of your own ego silenced, you can finally hear everything else. You can now turn your attention outward, not as a participant seeking validation, but as a silent observer gathering intelligence. In the next chapter, we will teach you how to use this newfound silence to see the world as it truly is. Chapter 6, While They Talk, You See the Truth. Chapter 6, While They Talk, You See the Truth. You walk into a room and you think you are listening. You are not. You are waiting for your turn to speak. You sit in a meeting, and you believe you are engaged. You are not. You are formulating your next rebuttal, polishing your next point, preparing your performance. You are an actor on a stage, so focused on your own lines that you are completely blind to the real drama unfolding around you. You are a player on the field, so focused on the ball at your feet that you have no idea how the entire game is being played. This is a state of profound blindness. And it is the state you have lived in for your entire life. The talker is trapped. His mind is a noisy, frantic prison. He is so consumed with the sound of his own thoughts and the desire to broadcast them that he is deaf to the signals that truly matter. He listens only to find a flaw in the other person's argument. He watches only to see if they are paying attention to him. His entire sensory experience is filtered through his own ego. He hears the words, but he misses the meaning. He sees the person, but he misses the truth. The talker reveals his own mind. The silent one reads everyone's. Today, you stop being a talker. You stop being a participant. You will be reborn as an observer. You will become a collector of hidden knowledge, a cartographer of human dynamics. While they talk, you see the truth. Let's return to the battlefield of the tense group discussion. A critical project is behind schedule. The budget is strained. The air is thick with the hunt for a scapegoat. The talkers immediately begin their performances. Manager A becomes the defender. He speaks quickly, defensively, listing all the reasons his department is not at fault, using a flood of jargon to create confusion and deflect blame. He is broadcasting insecurity. Manager B is the ambitious politician. She sees an opportunity. She speaks calmly, using phrases like team synergy and forward-looking solutions, while subtly directing attention to the flaws in Manager A's department. She is broadcasting ambition. The others play their parts. The appeaser, who hates conflict. The cynic, who scoffs at every suggestion. They are all so busy playing their roles and broadcasting their own internal state that they are blind. But you are there, and this time, you have a different purpose. You don't need their permission to be silent. You are not there to win the argument or defend your position. Your job is to see everything. You say nothing. Your silence is a vacuum that pulls in data. While Manager A gives his frantic defense, you are not listening to his excuses. You are watching his body. You notice his foot is tapping uncontrollably under the table. You see that when he mentions a specific supplier, he refuses to make eye contact with the lead engineer across the room. That's the key. The truth is not in his words, it is in that glance he refuses to make. There is a problem with that supplier that he is hiding. While Manager B delivers her smooth, political speech, you watch the CEO. You see the CEO's eyes narrow, almost imperceptibly. He is not impressed by her words, he is annoyed by her transparent opportunism. She thinks she is winning favor, but you can see she is losing respect. The talker reveals his own mind. The silent one reads everyone's. You see the two junior employees who are supposedly on opposite sides of the issue subtly nod at each other when they think no one is watching. They have a back-channel alliance. They have already solved the problem and are letting the managers fight it out. An hour of noisy, useless debate passes. The talkers leave the room drained and frustrated, believing nothing was accomplished. But you leave the room with a map. A complete, three-dimensional map of the entire social and political reality. You know who is weak. You know who is ambitious. You know who is hiding something. You know who secretly holds the power. You know what the real problem is, and you know who already has the solution. They leave with nothing but the echo of their own voices. You leave with the truth. It's not about being a psychic, it's about being present. It's about a radical discipline of attention. You have a choice. You can be lost in the fog of your own ego, or you can see the world with perfect clarity. Here is your mission. In the next group conversation you are in, a work meeting, a dinner with friends, a family argument, you will adopt the role of the silent observer. For the first 15 minutes, you are forbidden from speaking, unless asked a direct question. Your only job is to watch and listen. Notice who interrupts whom. That is a map of the perceived hierarchy. Notice who people look at when they speak. That is a map of where they seek approval. Notice whose posture changes when a sensitive topic is mentioned. That is a map of their insecurity. While they talk, you see the truth. This is a superpower. A power that allows you to navigate the world based on what is real, not on the noise people use to hide what is real. You will make better decisions. You will form stronger alliances. You will avoid pointless conflicts. You will see the attack before it is launched. You have now learned to use silence as a tool for intelligence gathering. You see the board with a clarity that the other players cannot possibly comprehend. This clarity is the foundation of all true control. But seeing the truth is not enough. You must learn to act on it. You must use this hidden knowledge to enforce your will and protect your boundaries. The most common way you will use this new power is to say no. Not with words, but with an unshakable, silent force. Chapter 7, Mastering the Silent No. Chapter 7, Mastering the Silent No. You are a servant to the demands of others. Your life is not your own. It is a calendar filled with obligations you resent, favors you never wanted to grant, and commitments made out of guilt, not desire. Why? Because you are terrified of a single, two-letter word, no. And on the rare occasion you manage to say it, you immediately betray yourself. You bury your no under a mountain of apologies, excuses, and justifications. I'm so sorry, I can't, I wish I could, but I have this other thing, and it's just a really busy week. Your no becomes a negotiation. Your excuse becomes a problem for them to solve. Oh, if you're busy Saturday morning, what about the afternoon? You give them a weakness to attack, a thread to pull, until your boundary unravels completely. Your no meant nothing because you failed to deliver it with conviction. You showed them that your time, your energy, and your priorities are all negotiable. This is the disease of the people-pleaser. It is a cancer of the will. Today, we cure it. You are going to learn that the most powerful no is never spoken at all. It is felt. It is understood. And it is non-negotiable. It's not about being harsh, it's about being clear. It's not about creating conflict, it's about preventing it before it begins. You will master the silent no. Let's use a common scenario. A friend, one who has a pattern of taking more than they give, comes to you with an unreasonable request. Hey, can you help me move this Saturday? I know it's last minute, but I really need you. It'll probably take the whole day. You had plans for that day. Plans to rest. To work on your own goals. To recharge your energy. Your Saturday is precious. It is yours. The old you would crumble. The guilt would hit you instantly. You'd stammer out one of your weak, apologetic refusals. The negotiation would begin, and you would end up losing your Saturday. Here is the new protocol. You have a choice. When your friend makes the unreasonable request, you do not respond immediately. The urge to speak is a weakness you must conquer. Instead, you deploy the protocol. First, you simply listen. You let them finish their entire request without interruption. Second, you pause. You create a deliberate space of 2, maybe 3 full seconds of silence. In that silence, you look them directly in the eye. Your expression is not angry. It is not annoyed. It is perfectly neutral. This is the critical moment. This is where the power shifts. In that unnerving void you have created, your friend's mind will race. They will be forced to hear their own request echo in the silence. For the first time, they will feel the true weight of what they are asking of you. Their confidence will waver. That's the key. The silence makes them self-assess. Third, after the pause has done its work, you do not say no. You do not make an excuse. You calmly and gently change the subject, as if their unreasonable request wasn't even significant enough to warrant a direct refusal. You say, the whole day is a big project. I hope it goes smoothly for you. And then, without missing a beat, anyway, did you catch the game last night? The message has been delivered. It is a rejection so complete, so final, that it requires no explanation. You have not given them an excuse to argue with. You have not given them an apology to manipulate. You have given them a quiet, immovable wall. You have given them the silent no. Your silence is a boundary. A pause is a decision. This technique is a universal tool for protecting your most valuable resources, your time and your energy. When a colleague tries to dump their work on you, can you just take a quick look at this for me? You pause. You look at the report, then you look at them. You hold that silence for a beat too long. Then you say, I'm focused on my own deliverables right now. You turn back to your work. The conversation is over. You don't need their permission to prioritize your own responsibilities. Master the silent no. This is not a parlor trick. It is a profound declaration of self-respect. It communicates to the world that your boundaries are not suggestions. Your time has value. Your energy is reserved for your priorities. People will stop bringing you their unreasonable requests because they will learn, subconsciously, that you are not a soft target. They will learn that your no doesn't need to be spoken to be understood. Your silence is a boundary. A pause is a decision. You have now learned to see the truth while others talk. You have now learned how to enforce your will without uttering a single word of refusal. You are taking back control of your life, one silent decision at a time. The silent no is your gatekeeper, protecting you from the demands of the world. But this technique is not just about the pause itself. It is powered by the aura you project during that pause. It is powered by a sense of deep, unshakable composure. The next evolution of your power is to cultivate this presence, to learn how your physical stillness can project more authority than 1,000 words ever could. We will now move from mastering moments of silence to mastering a state of being. Chapter 8, The Gravitas of Stillness. Chapter 8, The Gravitas of Stillness. Your body is a traitor. While you have been learning to control your tongue, your body has been screaming your secrets to the entire world. It is a constant, frantic broadcast of your anxiety, your insecurity, and your lack of control. Watch yourself when you are nervous. Your leg bounces like a jackhammer. Your fingers tap an incessant rhythm on the table. You fidget with a pen, you adjust your collar, you shift your weight from side to side. Your eyes dart around the room, looking for an escape. Every one of these movements is a leak. You are leaking power. You are leaking composure. You are leaking respect. You see it in others, but you are blind to it in yourself. You see the frantic energy of the junior employee as they pitch an idea, their hands fluttering, their body swaying, and you instinctively distrust their confidence. Yet you do the same. Frantic energy is weak. Motion without purpose is weak. Stillness is strength. Today, you will learn to command your physical self. You will transform your presence from a chaotic broadcast of anxiety into a silent, gravitational field of power. You will learn the discipline of stillness. Think of the most powerful figures you have ever seen, real or in fiction. The king on his throne. The CEO at the head of the table. The crime boss in a dimly lit room. What do they all have in common? They are masters of the economy of motion. They do not fidget. They do not gesture wildly. When they move, it is with deliberate, undeniable intent. A slow turn of the head is enough to silence a room. A single, pointed finger is a command. A calm, steepled set of hands projects absolute certainty. Their stillness is not emptiness, it is a reservoir of contained energy. It is potential power, held in reserve, and that makes it terrifying and magnetic. That's the key. Because their movements are rare, they have immense significance. Now, think of their underlings. They are a storm of nervous energy. They rush into the room, shuffle their papers, adjust their clothes. They are physically noisy. Their lack of stillness betrays their subordinate status before they even speak a word. This is a primal code, written into our DNA. In nature, the prey is frantic. The rabbit's nose twitches. The bird flits from branch to branch. Their constant motion is a broadcast of fear. The predator, however, is a monument of stillness. The lion waiting in the grass. The crocodile motionless in the water. Its stillness is a broadcast of lethal confidence, of absolute patience, of imminent and total control. You have a choice. You can continue to project the frantic energy of the prey, or you can cultivate the lethal stillness of the predator. It's not about being intimidating, it's about being in command of your own energy. You don't need their permission to be composed. Here is your protocol for cultivating stillness. This is not a suggestion. It is your new practice. First, your foundation, your feet and legs. When seated, you will plant both feet firmly on the floor. Uncross your legs. Stop the bouncing. Feel your connection to the ground. This is your anchor. It signals to your own nervous system, and to everyone else, that you are grounded and immovable. Second, your hands. Your hands are the greatest traitors to your composure. You will still them. Clasp them loosely in your lap. Rest them calmly on the table. Or steeple your fingers. Give them a job. That job is to be still. When you do gesture, make it a deliberate and purposeful extension of your words, not a nervous flutter. Third, your posture. Sit or stand upright, not in a rigid, tense way, but with a relaxed spine. Imagine a string pulling the crown of your head gently towards the ceiling. This opens your posture and projects confidence without aggression. Fourth, your head and eyes. Stop the nervous nodding when others are speaking. Stop letting your eyes wander. Your gaze will become your tool. When listening, let it rest calmly on the speaker. When you speak, you will move your gaze deliberately from person to person. A still head and a steady gaze broadcast unwavering focus. Frantic energy is weak. Motion without purpose is weak. Stillness is strength. Practice this everywhere. In the line at the coffee shop. In your car at a red light. In the most stressful meeting of your week. Become a student of your own physical noise and systematically eliminate it. Each time you still a tapping finger, you are reclaiming a piece of your power. Each time you plant your feet, you are building your foundation of gravitas. People will begin to react to you differently. Your quiet presence will command more attention than the loudest voice in the room. They will lean in to listen to you. They will subconsciously treat you with more respect. They will feel the weight of your composure. Your stillness will become your authority. You have learned to project power through your physical presence. You have added a new, silent layer to your arsenal of control. But this newfound stillness, this deliberate silence, it creates an effect in others. It creates discomfort. It creates tension. The weak will try to break your composure by filling your silence with their own noise. To truly master this art, you must not only be still, you must become immune to the social pressure your stillness creates. You must learn to thrive in the awkwardness. You must master the tension. Chapter 9, The Discomfort Protocol. Chapter 9, The Discomfort Protocol. Your greatest fear is not failure. It is not rejection. It is not even death. Your greatest, most immediate, and most controlling fear is a few seconds of awkward silence. You are a slave to it. You will do anything to avoid it. You will laugh at a joke that isn't funny. You will agree with an opinion you find repulsive. You will fill every available gap in a conversation with meaningless chatter, just to keep the social machinery humming along. This fear, this deep, instinctual terror of social discomfort, is the leash by which the world controls you. When you wield silence, when you deploy the void, when you deliver the silent no, you are creating this very discomfort in others. But to use it as a weapon, you must first become immune to it yourself. You must be willing to stand in the fire of social awkwardness and not get burned. You must learn to make the tension your home. This is the discomfort protocol. What makes them weak must make you strong. The average person's nervous system is wired to interpret a conversational pause as a mistake, a problem, a sign of disapproval or rejection. When silence stretches for a moment too long, their brain screams a single, panicked command, fix it. And so they talk. They stammer. They fidget. They concede points. They reveal secrets. They break. You will not break. You will be the one who creates the pressure. You will be the one who controls it. It's not about being an awkward person, it's about becoming the master of awkward moments. Here is your training. This is not a metaphor. This is a direct command. A practical exercise you will begin executing today. In your very next conversation, with a coworker, a cashier, a friend, you will conduct this drill. Listen to them speak. Give them your full attention. And when they finish their sentence, when they look at you, expecting an immediate reply, you will give them nothing. Instead, you will do the following. First, maintain calm, neutral eye contact. Do not look away. Do not nod. Do not smile. Just hold their gaze with a relaxed confidence. Second, you will begin a silent, internal count. 1, 2, 3. 3 full seconds. It will feel like an hour. Third, and this is the most critical part, you will pay attention to the storm inside you. You will feel a jolt of social panic. You will feel the heat rise in your own cheeks. Your brain will scream at you to speak, to smile, to do something to relieve the pressure. You will ignore it. You will sit in that fire. You will observe it. This is the feeling of your weakness burning away. That's the key. You must master the discomfort. Now, watch them. In those 3 seconds, you will see a universe of information. You will see their confident expression flicker into confusion, then into insecurity. They will break eye contact. They might give a nervous laugh. Very often, they will start talking again, rushing to fill the void you have created. They will amend their previous statement. They will offer more information. They will reveal what they really think, all because they could not bear the weight of your silent presence. You have a choice. You can be the person who breaks, or the person who waits. The first few times you do this, it will feel unnatural. It will feel rude. That is the social conditioning fighting back. Ignore it. You don't need their permission to take a moment before you speak. Your goal is to repeat this drill until the panic inside you is replaced by a feeling of absolute control. You will reach a point where you actually begin to enjoy the tension, because you know it is a tool that you, and only you, are in command of. What makes them weak must make you strong. Embrace their discomfort. This is not just for casual conversation. This is a high-level tool for every important interaction in your life. Before you answer a difficult question in an interview, pause. 3 seconds. It transforms you from someone who is reactive into someone who is thoughtful and deliberate. When someone makes an unreasonable demand, pause. 3 seconds. It forces them to reconsider the weight of their own words. When someone insults you, pause. 3 seconds. It robs their attack of its power and makes them look foolish and emotional. You must master the discomfort. The pause is your new sanctuary. It is your strategic high ground. While they are panicking, you are thinking. While they are scrambling, you are in control. You have learned to build a shield, to wield the void, to economize your words, and to command your physical presence. Now, you have learned to master the very tension that your power creates. You are no longer afraid of the awkward spaces between words. You own them. You have become a complete weapon. A silent force. You are now a master of the moment. But every moment, every conversation, must eventually end. And how you end it is the ultimate declaration of your power. It's not about getting the last word. It's about deciding when the words are over. In our final chapter, we will learn the ultimate power move. Chapter 10, Let Silence Be Your Final Statement. Chapter 10, Let Silence Be Your Final Statement. You have come to the end of your training. You have forged a shield, mastered the void, and learned to command a room with your stillness. But there is one final, ego-driven weakness we must locate and destroy. It is the most seductive trap of all, the desperate, burning need to have the last word. This need is a poison. It keeps you chained to arguments you should have walked away from hours ago. It keeps you refreshing your email, waiting for a reply to the perfect retort you just sent. It keeps you emotionally tethered to people and situations that do nothing but drain your life force. You think getting the last word makes you the winner. This is a lie. The person who needs the last word is the one who has truly lost control. They are signaling that the other person's opinion still has power over them. The ultimate power move is not winning the argument. It is deciding, unilaterally, when the argument is over. Let's enter the most toxic battlefield of the modern world, the online argument. It could be on social media, in a comment section, or in a group chat. Someone says something ignorant, insulting, or just plain wrong. The bait is set. The old you, the weak you, dives in headfirst. You craft a brilliant, logical, devastating reply. You hit send with a surge of adrenaline. They reply with more ignorance. You reply with more facts. They reply with personal insults. You reply with venom. Hours pass. Your heart is pounding. Your focus is shattered. You are locked in a pointless war with a stranger, fighting for the approval of invisible onlookers. Even if you win, what have you won? You have exhausted your energy. You have poisoned your own mind with anger. You have sacrificed hours of your irreplaceable life at the altar of your own ego. You were a puppet, and your opponent, the fool, was the puppet master. Here is the new protocol. You have a choice. You see the bait. You feel the rage. You feel that primal urge to correct, to dominate, to put them in their place. You will honor that feeling by acknowledging it. And then you will starve it. It's not about weakness, it's about supreme discipline. You might even type out the perfect, scathing reply. Let the venom flow from your mind to your fingertips. Read it. Savor the genius of your argument for a single moment. And then, you will delete it without sending. That's the key. The victory is not in sending the message, the victory is in the act of deleting it. It is a declaration of sovereignty over your own impulses. You will then mute the conversation. You will close the tab. You will put your phone down and walk away. This is not surrender. This is a declaration of victory on your own terms. You are refusing to play a rigged game. The only winning move is not to play. The argument ends when you go silent. Their final, angry message will sit there, unanswered. It will get no oxygen from you. It will receive no energy. Your silence is not an admission of defeat. It is a statement of such profound indifference that it is more insulting than any word you could have ever written. You have communicated that they are no longer worth your time. You have left them screaming into a void. Let silence be your final statement. This discipline applies to every dead-end conversation in your life. The family member who will never change their mind on a political issue? The debate ends when you go silent. You say, "I've heard your perspective," and then you change the subject or leave the room. The negotiation that has hit an insulting impasse? The negotiation ends when you go silent. You state your final offer, and when they refuse, you don't argue further. You close your briefcase, give a polite nod, and walk out the door. Your action is the final word. The toxic relationship where you find yourself having the same fight over and over? The fight ends when you go silent. Not with the silent treatment as a tool of manipulation, but with a true, final disengagement. You stop explaining yourself and simply leave. You don't need their permission to end a conversation that is no longer productive. The argument ends when you go silent. The negotiation ends when you go silent. Let silence be your final statement. The lesson is now complete. You have learned that the loudest person is the weakest. You have forged your silence into a shield and a weapon. You have learned to speak with the precision of a surgeon and to observe the world with the clarity of a predator. You have mastered the silent no, the gravitas of stillness, and the fire of discomfort. And now, you know how to walk away. You hold all the tools. You have the full doctrine. Your training is over. Now, your life as a practitioner of strategic silence begins. The power was never in making noise. It was always in the quiet, deliberate, and total control of when and how you chose to engage with the world. The power was always in the silence. You have now received the doctrine of strategic silence. The lesson is simple, but its execution requires discipline. Remember this, the loudest person is the weakest. From this day forward, you will stop being the loudest person. You will stop needing to be understood. Your silence will be your shield, and it will be your weapon. You will let them fill the void. You will speak with intent, or you will not speak at all. While they talk, you will see the truth. Stillness will become your strength. The power is not in the final word. The power is in choosing to say nothing. This is my challenge to you. For the next 48 hours, reduce the amount you speak by half. In every conversation, in every meeting, in every interaction, say less. Do not offer opinions unless asked. Do not fill a silence. Just watch, listen, and feel the balance of power shift into your hands. The art has been taught. Now the discipline begins. Go forward, and command your world in silence.